Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjalisalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Priti Namine Namaste Saraswate Gauravani Prashanti Nirvishesha Yavani Paschati Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Vasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Yat kripatamaham vande Paramanandam. Don't disturb that because I have to see that and also speak. Sorry. That should be the way it is. Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Yat kripatamaham vande Paramanandam Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So today and tomorrow, we'll discuss something about the Srimad Bhagavatam in very brief. Bhagavatam is a very big scripture, unlike Bhagavad Gita, 18,000 shlokas. But it is the complete science of Bhakti Yoga, complete science of Bhakti Yoga in detail. So Prabhupada says Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study of Bhagavatam. Or Bhagavatam explains the principles of Bhagavad Gita in detail. Both ways you can understand this. Okay. So now Bhagavatam, the summary of the Bhagavatam or the teachings of the Bhagavatam, the shortest possible understanding of the teachings is in the Bhagavatam itself. So when Brahma was instructed by Lord Vishnu at the beginning of creation, Vishnu spoke to Brahma in 4 verses the Bhagavatam. How many verses? 4 verses. Those 4 verses are there in the Bhagavatam as a conversation between Brahma and Vishnu. So those 4 verses are explained by Prabhupada in the Bhagavatam itself. But in the Bhagavatam, the explanation of those 4 verses is given, very, very big explanation is given. So the time I have, I can't go into that explanation. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, the same 4 verses which Vishnu spoke to Brahma is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Prabhupada, very short. So that is what I am going to explain today. Okay? Very short. There are so many more things that can be explained. You can always read the Bhagavatam after today and tomorrow. You can read the Bhagavatam and get more details whenever you want. So just note down which are the 4 verses in the 18,000 shlokas which contains the essence of the Bhagavatam or the Bhagavatam explained by Vishnu to Brahma in 4 verses. It's called Chatushloki Bhagavatam. What's it called? Chatushloki. Means in 4 verses the entire Bhagavatam. 4 verses. Which are the 4 verses? Second canto. Bhagavatam has got cantos. Bhagavad has got just 18 chapters. Bhagavatam has got cantos. And each canto has got chapters. Each chapter has got verses. So I have to say Bhagavatam verse means which canto, which chapter, which verse. So write down. Second canto, there are 12 cantos in Bhagavatam. Dvadasha Skanda in Sanskrit. So 12 cantos out of that second canto. So write down second canto. Then in that canto, the 9th chapter, and in the 9th chapter, there are many verses. So the 33rd verse, 33. So we write it as 2.9.33. Okay? That's the first verse of the 4 verses. And the remaining verses are sequentially there. So the second verse is 2.9.34. Then the third verse is 2.9.35. The fourth verse is 2.9.36. Okay, these are the 4 verses. So you go home and later on you can see the Bhagavatam and then you refer this. Okay. I'll also pass on the notes, both the notes from the Chaitanya Charitamrita and the notes from the Bhagavatam. So both I'll pass on to you through Shuklamdara Prabhu. Okay. I will pass on later. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada explains these 4 verses by giving some background for these 4 verses. That background is also there in the Bhagavatam itself. So Vishnu is telling Brahma, Lord Vishnu is telling Brahma, please hear attentively what I shall speak to you. For transcendental knowledge about me, means about Vishnu, about God, Supreme Lord, is not only scientific, but also full of mysteries. There is something mysterious about it. So now Vishnu is going to speak to Brahma about himself, about God. God is speaking about himself. Same thing Prabhupada says in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is speaking about himself. If you want to know a person, best you can know from the person himself. Others can tell you about the person who have a relationship with him, but they can tell you only as much as they know about him. Correct? But the person can tell, the best person to tell about a person is himself. Okay? So here, Vishnu is going to reveal certain mysteries about himself. And there are a lot of mysteries. The most important mystery to understand about God, about Krishna, about the Supreme Lord, is going to be revealed in the Bhagavatam. So first he says, hear attentively what I shall speak to you, because transcendental knowledge, it's spiritual knowledge, it's not material knowledge. It's not about any material characteristics of God, material features. It's about his spiritual nature, spiritual form, spiritual name, spiritual qualities, spiritual aspects of God, transcendental knowledge of God. It is scientific and it is full of mysteries. Okay. Then, so Prabhupada says about this particular thing which Vishnu tells Brahma. Why is Vishnu telling this to Brahma? Is because God has got 3 different features as explained in the Bhagavatam and all the Vedic scriptures. God has one feature called Brahman feature, impersonal feature. It's also called as energy. It's energy. So energy of God. Then the second feature is the Paramatma feature. Paramatma feature is a super soul. God as soul. Where? In the material world. God as soul in the material world. Material world, we know there is matter and there is spirit soul. So we are all spirit soul. But matter is material energy of God, and so individual spirit soul is also another type of energy of God called marginal energy. Marginal energy. But God Himself is present in the material world as the supreme spirit soul. Just like we are in this material world as the individual spirit soul, Jivatma. We are present in this material world as the Jivatma. Krishna is present in this material world as the Paramatma. That's explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smriti. Like that. In the 15th chapter, 15th verse, and the 18th chapter, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hruddeshe arjun tishtati. That's 61st verse. Anyway, Bhagavad Gita also explains this. Bhagavatam explains this. All the Vedic literature explains this. God is present. The personality of God in the spiritual world is present in the material world as the super soul, supreme spirit soul, supreme spirit soul. Just like as spirit soul, we are also in this body, but the spirit soul is very, 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 very tiny, very small. It's smaller than the material atom also, smaller than the material atom, so very small. So therefore, scientists cannot search for that, cannot find it because it's small. Scientists also cannot find it because it is spiritual in quality. It is not material quality. Material quality, they can search for atoms, they can search for some atomic particles. Now they have got capacity. Scientific advancement, they can detect that, correct? But with all the scientific instruments, material atom they can detect. But spiritual atom, no, because spiritual atom is different from material atom. Completely different. So like that, the scientists cannot find that, cannot detect it. And it cannot be seen with these eyes. It can be perceived with our senses. Material atom itself we can't perceive with our senses, except we use some instruments. But those instruments also will not show you that tiny thing magnified. You cannot do that. So you'll see some effect. Like electron, one subatomic particle, right? Electron you cannot see. You cannot magnify it and show this is how the electron looks. No, there's no instrument like that. But electronics, you can see the effect. Simple thing. Wire is flowing in some electric wires are there, electricity is flowing. You can't see that. But you connect that electric wire to a bulb, electric bulb. When the bulb lights up, oh, that is electricity in form of light. Fan is turning. When you switch on the switch, electricity flows into that fan device. Electricity is seen in the form of the blades rotating and air coming from the rotation of the blades. Similarly, the effect of electron is seen for electronics. Similarly, the soul cannot be seen. Soul cannot be seen. But the effect of the soul, presence of the soul, is consciousness. How do you know soul is there in the body? There is consciousness. Why do you say the soul has left the body when the body becomes the dead body? There's no consciousness because there's no spirit soul. Why the light is not coming on? Because there is no electricity flowing through. Okay. So like that, the effect of the soul in the body is perceived as consciousness. Now, the materialists think that consciousness is due to some combination of material elements, some chemical. Life comes from chemicals. That's what their theory is. Prabhupada many times has had discussion with scientists, and one of the scientists who had discussion with Prabhupada, he became Prabhupada's disciple. He was a big scientist before he met Prabhupada, Dr. T.D. Singh. So he became a disciple. And then he became interested in understanding if life is not coming from chemicals, then where is life coming from? It is coming from the spirit soul in the body. What is the spirit? Then he became a disciple and started learning Bhagavad Gita and everything. Then Prabhupada told him, challenge the other scientists that can you produce life if I give you chemicals? Oh, that we cannot say. That means you do not know how life is actually present in any body, how life is there. What is the source of life in the body? It is not chemicals. It is actually the spirit soul. Similarly, the whole universe is working. How is it working? The planets are rotating, the seasons are changing. You sow a seed, it grows into a big tree, depending on what seed you sow. Perfectly, it is happening, correct? Who's making this happen? We don't do anything. We just sow the seed. That's all. Okay? We may supply some water. Okay? Even if you don't supply water when there's rainy season, the things will sprout and grow. Correct? And the soil is there. All the nutrition is there in the soil. In the forest, who's planting trees in the forest? Who's watering trees in the forest? Nobody is doing anything. Right? So that is happening because of the presence of the Supreme Spirit in the universe. The whole universe is working. Just like this body works, all the organs are working. Correct? Are we making it work? Are we making the heart beat? Are we making the lungs, pump? Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Are we doing that? Are we digesting the food we eat? No. It is happening. How can it happen? Only when the spirit soul is there, it will happen. Spirit soul leaves the body. Whatever you pump in, whatever you do, you cannot make the heart beat. You cannot make the stomach to digest food. You cannot make the lungs inhale, exhale. You cannot do that. So therefore, the body is working because of the presence of the spirit soul. Exactly like that, the whole universe is working because of the presence of Paramatma. Because of the presence of Paramatma. So that Paramatma is the second feature of God, which is called Paramatma, super soul, supreme spirit soul, a supreme spirit soul. Okay. Then, if Paramatma is there in the universe, a supreme spirit soul, just like in this body, I am the individual spirit soul. In your body, you are the individual spirit soul. Very tiny. But the body is got so many parts, so many cells, that spirit soul is smaller than the cell also. Okay? But still that tiny spiritual spark is more powerful than any part of the body. Is more complex than any cell in the body. Correct? So that is, all this is working because of the presence of the spirit soul. The whole universe is working because of the presence of that supreme spirit. And that supreme spirit's presence, because it's making the whole universe work, therefore we can say the whole universe is like the body of the supreme spirit. Though supreme spirit, Krishna, as Paramatma, doesn't have a material form. Just like we are in this material body, and material body working because I am present here, correct? But I am not this body. But still we can identify me with the body. By the presence of the body, you can identify me. When this body is speaking, I say I am speaking. Body is not speaking. Similarly, the whole universe is working because of the presence of Paramatma. So when the universe is working, the universe can be considered the body of Paramatma, the material body. That is what is called as the one of the universal form. Now you understand what is universal form. The whole universe itself is a form of the Lord. Just like you are not the body. Paramatma is not the universe because he doesn't have material form. Even we don't have material form. This form is like a dress for us, the spirit soul. Similarly, this universal form, the universe itself, is like a dress of the Supreme Lord. Like a dress of the Supreme Lord, who is present in this universe as Paramatma. One soul, very, very tiny, Supreme Spirit soul, entered into. He is not just entered into the universe, he is entered into everybody's heart also. The same Paramatma is present in everybody's heart. He is present in every material atom also. Present in every material atom also. See, material atom, now they have learned how to explore that material atom bomb. Where can so much energy come from? One very, very tiny particle called a material atom. We have experienced, depending on the size of this thing, energy also will be there, or potency will be there. Correct? How can so much energy be there in one small atom? Because of the presence of Paramatma. Now you understand. Scientists don't know how that tiny atom, material atom, matter is inert matter. Matter is inert matter. But we also know matter is not just inert matter, it is material energy. It is material energy. How do we realize that it's material energy? When atom is split, atom bomb. What is that energy? Material energy. How much material energy? Because of the presence of the Paramatma, any quantity of material energy. So, therefore, Paramatma is the second feature only in the material world and present everywhere. Everywhere there is matter, correct? And everywhere matter means material atoms. And every material atom he is there as Paramatma. So many living entities in so many different forms all over the universe, correct? Each living entity's heart he has entered. Which heart? Not this material heart. Which heart? Spiritual heart. Spirit soul is so small. In that tiny spirit soul, smaller than material atom, there is the spiritual heart. In that spiritual heart, he enters as Paramatma. He enters as Paramatma. So spirits, supreme spirit soul is even tinier than the spirit, the individual spirit soul. And tinier than even the heart of the individual spirit soul. Entered into that. And he's sitting there and conducting everything in this body. So that is Paramatma. Then the third feature, most important feature of God or Supreme Personality of Godhead is the person Krishna. The person Krishna. Now, this person Krishna, when you think of a person, we think of a person like what we know as a person. Because when the Krishna comes, he appears like any other person, no? Two eyes, two nostrils. A body looks like any human body, right? Huh? Born as a small child, then he grows up, then he becomes a youth, then he becomes a adult king. So, a cowherd boy, he grows up, then he comes to Mathura from Vrindavan. And then Mathura, he identifies as a prince. Then it is revealed, oh, Krishna was born as son of Vasudeva and Devaki because there was fear of Kamsa killing the children. He had already killed 6 children of Devaki. So, Devaki was anxious to hide him. So Krishna said, okay, hide me in Nanda Gokula. So Devaki hid him there. And as long as Kamsa was present, was constantly giving trouble to Vasudeva and Devaki. So they could not rescue Krishna and bring him. Okay? Then Krishna himself came. Because Kamsa wanted to kill Krishna, he sent demons. So he decided, I'm going to kill Krishna after calling him, inviting him for a Dhanur Yajna. A special sacrifice he arranged. And he called Krishna and Balaram through approval. Krishna and Balaram came. So Kamsa had planned, I'm going to kill this Krishna and Balaram. Even as they're entering Mathura, and then he could not kill that Kolaya Pida, one demon in the shape of an elephant, standing there as if to welcome all the guests coming for the Nuriyanya. But actually, it's a demon who's meant to kill Krishna and Balaram. So Krishna killed that Kolaya Pida. Because Kolaya Pida attacked him. That's why he killed him. And then some wrestlers were there. So Krishna and Balaram were invited for a wrestling match. So those wrestlers are meant to kill Krishna and Balaram. But wrestling match. This guys, it's a wrestling match. So that also, they could not kill. Krishna killed them. Krishna and Balaram killed the wrestlers. Okay. Then Kamsa himself became angry. All my arrangements have failed. I sent my associates to Vrindavan, they could not kill. Then I arranged my associates to kill Krishna and Balaram, they could not kill. I personally will kill. He came and he attacked Krishna. He and his brothers. The brothers attacked Balaram. He personally attacked Krishna. Krishna killed Kamsa. Balaram killed all Kamsa's brothers. Finished. Then Krishna released Vasudeva Devaki. Krishna released Vasudeva Devaki. Then Vasudeva said, Hare, you have been away. Krishna wanted to go back to Vrindavan. That's what he told the Brajavasis. Kamsa is giving too much trouble to my parents. Okay, to not even say parents. That Vasudeva and Devaki. Okay. Vasudeva is Nanda's brother. Nanda Maharaj's brother. Okay. Both Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva are two sons of Shurasena. Okay. But why Nanda is a Vaishya and Vasudeva is a Kshatriya? This is explained in the Bhagavatam by Prabhupada and by Sukadeva Goswami. Shurasena had two wives. One wife was a Kshatriya princess he married. Other wife was a Vaishya lady he married. So the son born from the Kshatriya princess was Vasudeva, Shurasena's Kshatriya wife. Shurasena's Vaishya wife, Shurasena was Kshatriya, but he had a Vaishya wife through whom Nanda Maharaj is born. So Nanda and Yashoda are brothers. Okay? But Nanda Maharaj, because he is a Vaishya, he is doing agriculture, cow protection, etc. Because Vasudeva Kshatriya, he is ruling a province. Okay? So Vasudeva and Nanda are brothers. So Nanda Maharaj, Krishna told Vasudeva and Devaki and all the Yadus, they are simply harassed by Kamsa. So I just go deal with this Kamsa's harassment and then I'll come back. So Brajavasis all, they were waiting. Krishna is going to come back. Krishna wanted to come back. Vasudeva is telling, you have wasted so much time simply playing around in Vrindavan. You're not going to school. You're not going to Gurukul. So go to Gurukul. I said, okay, I'll go to Gurukul. So Krishna and Balaram went to Gurukul. Then after coming back from Gurukul, then Jarasandha is attacking Mathura. Ugrasena is reinstated as the king of Mathura when Kamsa was killed. Krishna did not become the king. Okay? He's after a small boy. So he said, Ugrasena, you be the king. Ugrasena is not strong enough to fight against Jarasandha. Krishna and Balaram said, we will fight against Jarasandha. Killed Jarasandha's army. And the whole thing goes on. Anyway, so Krishna remained in Mathura itself, dealing with the problems in Mathura. Kamsa was a problem. Kamsa is killed. Then some other associates of Kamsa, they're all attacking Mathura. Then all the Mathura Nivasis are his devotees. Krishna's devotees. They are devotees. Devotees of Krishna means devotees of Vishnu. None of the devotees of Krishna know Krishna is God. That's why they relate with him as their king or their associate as a cowherd boy, like that. So whether in Mathura or in Dwarka or in Vrindavan, nobody knows Krishna is God. But they are all having love for Krishna. They have love for Krishna. But they worship, whom do they worship? Vishnu. So in Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra, we say Nama Om Vishnu Padaya. Prabhupada is a pure devotee who has firmly taken shelter of the lotus feet of Vishnu. But Krishna Preshthaya, he is very, very dear to Krishna as Krishna's devotee. See, this is a mystery. All the devotees of Krishna are actually Vaishnavas. They worship Vishnu. They take shelter of the lotus feet of Vishnu. Okay? But they are attached to Vishnu in his original form as Krishna. Love they have for Krishna. Love they have for Krishna. Okay? So this is the speciality of the pure devotees of Krishna. They worship Vishnu, but they love Krishna. Whereas the devotees of Vishnu or other forms of Vishnu were not different from Krishna. The same person, Krishna, is present in so many other forms. They are devotees of Vishnu and they love Vishnu. But the love of Vishnu, when it is combined with devotion and worship and respect, it cannot be free, spontaneous love. That's not possible. That's not possible. Just like Prabhupada gives the example, there is a very rich man. He's got his family and he's got his business. In his business, there are his trusted, business, what do you say, the employees, let's say employees. He's got. Among the employees, some will be very, very close to him, very intimate with him. But they'll always have respectful, intimate dealings. They'll have respectful, intimate dealings. They cannot have dealings with him the way he has with his wife, children. When he goes home, he did not dress in his suit and his formal dress like that, the way he dresses when he goes to the office, right? Home he can be in any dress. The children will climb on his shoulder and they'll play with him, everything, right? It doesn't mean the children don't have respect for the father, but because of the intimacy, they can play with him any way they want. But in the office, they intimately are related. The top people, bottom, go below, not so intimate. Right? The farther the distance in terms of the work they do or whatever, confidential work those who do are very intimately related with or connected with the boss, the owner of the business. But those who are lower down, they are distanced. They always go through. Even if they have to communicate something or they have to get something, they always go through. Directly, not can't meet. Similarly, Vishnu in Vaikuntha, Narayana in Vaikuntha, or Vishnu in the material world, always through. Only somebody like Brahma can directly contact Vishnu. Like that, you can understand from the example that Prabhupada explains the relationship of the person in his business, in his office, is different than the relationship at home. So Krishna is like that rich person, powerful person, at home. So Krishna's home is, the Supreme Lord's home is Vrindavan. But Mathura, Dwaraka, Vaikuntha, all these are his office. These are his office, business. These are his material world. Material world, he has to make so many arrangements as Vishnu. So he's got a big elaborate arrangement called demigods. So many demigods, so many arrangements, everything formality. So that is the thing. But still there's a difference between Krishna in Mathura or Dwaraka and Vishnu or Narayana in Vaikuntha or in the material world. Still there's a difference. As Krishna, still the love is more intimate than with Vishnu or Narayana of the devotees. Still more intimate. But most intimate is in Vrindavan. Most intimate in Vrindavan. So the difference is in Vrindavan, devotees can have 5 kinds of relationship with Krishna. In what is that? Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. But in Vaikuntha, devotees cannot have all the 5 kinds of relationships with Vishnu or Narayana. They cannot have. So they can only have Shanta, Dasya. Only Shanta and Dasya. That's all. Even if Sakya is there, friendship is there, it is friendship of the kind of respectfully deal with him as a friend. So it's always conscious, even though he's my friend, he's my Lord. He's the Supreme Lord. I'm his subordinate, I'm his devotee. Devotee means subordinate. I'm subordinate to him always. He's always my Lord. My Lord. That conscious, that awareness of Krishna, even though, like Arjuna and Krishna, they are friends, right? But when Krishna showed universal form, Arjuna became so much terrified that I have treated him so disrespectfully. He's so great, and I have treated him so disrespectfully. So he began to beg forgiveness from Krishna. Please pardon me. I called you as Yadava, Sakha, my dear friend. We sat on the same bed. We ate together on the same table. Huh? Wow. I have done so many offenses against you. I forgot that you are actually the Supreme Lord. Now I realize what nonsense I have done. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. He's offering obeisance again and again. In the prayers he's offering, he's telling, Bhuyo namastestu, namastestu, sahasrakatvaha. I'm offering obeisance millions of times. Again and again, I'm offering this obeisances. Please pardon me. Please pardon me. Please pardon me. Why? In the universal form, Krishna showed his real might and power to Arjuna. He has entered as Paramatma into this universe. Krishna says, Arjuna asks, what form have you entered? He says, universal form I've entered. Universal form. What is that universal form? Okay, I'll show you. He shows the universal form. Arjuna is terrified. Millions of hands, millions of mouths, millions of eyes, so much, weapons, so many clubs, so many, everything is unlimited. And Arjuna is terrified. And then with great distinct respect, he begins to offer prayers. So see those prayers by Arjuna. Then Arjuna tells, I'm terrified by seeing this universal form. I foolishly asked, show me universal form. I didn't know what is this universal form. Please show me your four-handed form. Four-handed form. Krishna said, okay, I'll show you my four-handed form. Four-handed form. Arjuna is, completely pacified, is pleased. Krishna is very, very, very pleasing to look at. Not ghastly form, not that ferocious form, no, not Ugra Rupa, Soumya Rupa. But then Krishna then showed Arjuna the two-handed form. The two-handed form is even more rare and even more intimate. The two-handed form of Krishna in Dwaraka. Dwaraka. That is the maximum intimacy Arjuna can have with Krishna. But the devotees in Vrindavan, they are more intimate with Krishna. They're more intimate with Krishna. So Mathura and Dwaraka, devotees are intimate with the Supreme Lord more than the devotees in Vaikuntha, in the material world as Vishnu, in the spiritual world as Vaikuntha, Narayana, so many different forms. The more intimate is Krishna in Dwaraka and Mathura. But in Vrindavan, the intimacy is so much that they complete. Krishna forgets he is the Lord, and devotees forget Krishna is the Lord. And they freely exchange love. Freely exchange. They can do anything with Krishna. Mother Yashoda can scold Krishna. He can bind him. Krishna can play all kinds of mischief with Mother Yashoda. And when Mother Yashoda chastises, she becomes afraid of Mother Yashoda. So Kunti, she says, I'm getting bewildered. You are the Supreme Lord and you're afraid of Mother Yashoda. How can you be afraid of Mother Yashoda? She is devotee. She is devotee. You're the Lord. And then you are afraid of her? So Kunti says, I'm bewildered. I can't understand. What is your personality? So to understand Krishna's personality, especially his personality as covered boy in Vrindavan, is only possible if we follow in the footsteps of serving Krishna as one of the Brajavasis. They know Krishna as the cowherd boy. Nobody else knows Krishna as the cowherd boy. They try to understand Krishna as the Lord as cowherd boy. All kinds of conflicts will be there in their mind. All kinds of conflicts. The cowherd boys are climbing on Krishna's shoulders when they are playing with him. Right? He's Supreme Lord and they're climbing on his shoulders. Can't imagine, no? God. Somebody's climbing on the shoulder of God. Why should he worship God then? He's, like that. Where will the respect be? Like the boss in the office, all the people are respectful to him, he's the boss. But if his child comes to the office and start pulling his ears, pulling his hair, what will others think about him? Right? They'll not be able to adjust to that, no? So he'll tell children, don't come to the office and play with me like that. You want to play with me? Only at home. Office you come, you just sit like everybody else. Correct? So Krishna, his dealings with the devotees only in Vrindavan is intimate. Mathura, Dwaraka, not intimate. Anyway, that's a big subject. So here, the point is, these 4 verses, Vishnu is explaining his third feature as personality of God, the person, the supreme person in the spiritual world. The person in the spiritual world, not the Paramatma in the material world, not the Brahman feature, that's the energy. Material world, that material energy, and the spiritual energy in the form of the living entity, two energies of Krishna. Not as this energy, not as a Paramatma, not as Brahman, not as Paramatma, but as Bhagavan. So Bhagavan feature is explained in these 4 verses. So what are those 4 verses? Let's quickly go through the 4 verses. 2 we'll go through today, 2 tomorrow. So the first of these 4 verses, okay. The first of the 4 verses, just hear these words and I will try to explain by reading the translation. Aham evasam evagre nanyad yat sadasat param paschadaham yadetacha yo avashishyeta sosmyaham. This is what Vishnu tells Brahma about himself. He's telling Aham. He's telling I existed prior to the creation of the whole material cosmic manifestation. I existed prior to that. And when before this creation, there was no material world, there was no material phenomena, there was no gross matter, there was no subtle matter, there was no primordial matter, Mahatattva, from which the material creation begins. That also was not there. But material energy was there. But material energy was undifferentiated, simply like a cloud in the spiritual sky. What is the material energy present as before the creation? Cloud in the spiritual sky. Okay, simply one cloud in one insignificant corner. The spiritual sky is vast, fully illuminated. Just like the material sky when the sun is there in the sky. Only the portion where there is a cloud, there is some darkness. But rest of the, where there's no cloud, completely bright. And the sky is so, compared to the cloud, how big is the sky? So vast. Like that, compared to this material energy, like a cloud, small cloud in one corner. The whole spiritual sky is filled with Vaikuntha planets. And also the Golok Vrindavan, Krishna's personal planet, Golok Vrindavan. All that is there in the spiritual sky. All of them are bright effulgence. This material world by nature is dark because it's like a cloud. That cloud-like material energy simply is there as a cloud, that's all. Like in our ordinary experience, we know there are 2 kinds of clouds we know. Rain-bearing cloud and just some ordinary cloud. So ordinary cloud is useless for us. If at all cloud has any importance for us or any use for us, it is a rain-bearing cloud. Because that supplies rain. And that rain is distilled water from the ocean. Ocean, the water is stored. But that water we cannot use. But the same water, when evaporated by the arrangement of the Supreme Lord through the sunshine, and that water is collected in the cloud. Which kind of cloud? Rain-bearing cloud. The dark cloud. Dark clouds. Rain-bearing clouds are dark clouds. In that cloud, there is water. And that water also is arranged to be distributed by the winds scattering those clouds. Scattering those clouds. This is the arrangement of the Lord. And exactly how much rain is required in which place, the Lord arranges through the wind, through the climate change, that precipitation happens, that water is present as first evaporated water vapor, and then it is condensed in the cloud. It is present there as water, but that cloud only when they say precipitation of this cloud. They try to do some experiments. No, in Dubai they do what is cloud seeding. Some ordinary cloud they put something and then they try to precipitate the water, then pour down so much water. They did that every year. They do it. It seems, and sometimes goes out of control. This time, our devotees had planned from Mysore to go to Dubai on a particular day. And they said that day that we know airport won't be open because cloud seeding is going to happen. There'll be rain in Dubai, arranged by the government. 2 days. They plan for 2 days of rain. That's enough for filling all their reservoirs of water, whatever. And after that, it should not rain. So they do controlled seeding. But somehow something went wrong. And then the second day it rained, first day it rained, second day it rained. Third day also it rained. So the airport is supposed to open, everything was supposed to come back to normal. Airport is remaining closed. It's raining in Dubai. Hey, what is this raining? They said only 2 days it will rain. No, it went out of control. So anyway, why I'm telling this is the rain, the natural rain is completely controlled. And there's so much control that there's something called a desert region where it doesn't rain. And there are regions like Assam, rainforests in the African jungle. It rains so much it rains, right? It all supports different types of vegetation, different types of living entities, different types of creatures, different types of climate, variety. These scientists cannot understand that. What is the creation? They don't know. They try to, do some technology which will make it rain in the desert, will grow some vegetables in Israel, desert land. They do all kinds of things. Anyway, that apart. So, controlled rain, right? So my point is, not all clouds are the same, right? So similarly, in the spiritual sky, there's only one cloud which is got no significance other than it is simply one material energy lying inert state. That is activated by the Supreme Lord as Sankarsana in the spiritual world. He incarnates as Vishnu. He enters into that cloud, material energy, and he activates it. So what Krishna is telling, Vishnu is telling Brahma is, before the creation, there was no Mahatattva, there was no elements, there was no planets, there was no living entities in the bodies, living entities in the bodies. No, nothing was there. So that is what he's telling primarily. But he was there. He was there. As Vishnu only. As Vishnu only. So he was there. And after the creation, he remains as Vishnu only, the same Vishnu. He does not change his form or his qualities or his energies. Nothing changes. He is the same Supreme Lord. And after everything is destroyed, this creation is there. It is maintained for some time. Maintained by whom? By Vishnu only. Vishnu creates, Vishnu maintains, Vishnu destroys. So, but we know Brahma creates, Vishnu maintains, Shiva destroys. That is the secondary creation, secondary maintenance, secondary destruction. So, anyway, that's explained in the Bhagavatam in detail. I don't want to go into it. So, he exists. He existed before the creation. He exists during the maintenance. He will continue to exist, remain as Vishnu even after the destruction. So, before creation, there is no Shiva, there is no Brahma, as Brahma and Shiva in their particular bodies. Even we are, as spirit soul, we always exist, but not in this form in which we are now. In these bodies, we are not there before the creation. Okay. It's creation time we get the body. Similarly, Brahma, Shiva, everyone is created. Everyone is created. Created means soul is not created. It is a body. Body is created. Okay. So that creation applies to living entities getting bodies, and for their living, there are living spaces created. That is all the planets with all the diversity. Like on this planet Earth, it's a place of residence for so many creatures. But some live in water, some live in the air, some live on the land, and even on the land, some live on the ground proper, some live on the trees, some form a nest in the tree. Monkeys live without any home, but they are living on the tree only. Correct? So different kinds of residences for different kinds of living entities are all created by arrangement of Vishnu. Which Vishnu? Vishnu in the universal form. Universal form. He creates Vishwatma. He creates a diversity in the universes, all the living spaces. And then Brahma gives the bodies for the living entity. That is Brahma's creation. All the different creatures. First, Brahma is born from Vishnu. Then Brahma is empowered by Vishnu to give bodies to other living entities who are without body. Without body. Where are they? They are in the cloud. So Vishnu injects those living entities into different bodies by his glance. By his glance, he injects. And then they are born as sons, daughters, as offspring of different species. Anyway, that's a detailed description in the Bhagavatam is there. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna just says, I create, I maintain, I destroy. But here, that same thing he's telling, only I existed. And I continue to exist even during the maintenance, and after destruction, only I remain. Nothing else is there. That means this world, as it is, it's not going to remain. Though the energy of which this world is made will remain. Energy is there as a cloud. It's called unmanifest state. Unmanifest means there is no differentiation. That energy is there simply lying. Then that energy differentiates into all these three gunas and elements, and all the elements combine to form different planets, rivers, mountains, all that. And the living entities, bodies, everything is due to the creation. The creation happens. Then they maintain for some time, different lengths of time. And then after that, this complete destruction, everything is again going back to the energy form. Everything is going back to the energy form, matter. But as living entities, without body. That's all. They go back again to the cloud. They came from the cloud, they're going back to the cloud. If they don't practice devotional service and get out of this material existence, they keep going to the cloud and coming back from the cloud. So that's why our real home is the spiritual world. Our real existence is spiritual existence with Krishna, with Narayana, with in Vaikuntha Loka, the spiritual planets. But this material planets is our temporary residence. Temporary residence. Okay. So therefore, Krishna explains this in the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam in detailed way. He says how his devotees practice bhakti and they go back to him. What all they do? Different types of devotees. He gives, Bhagavatam Vyasadeva gives examples. Anybody can become devotee. Whereas for studying the Vedas, only those who are very learned scholars, they can study the Vedas. For performing pious activities, only those who can do all kinds of rituals, yajna, dana, or tapa, vrat, only they can do pious activities and they can do karma kanda section of Vedas. For jnana kanda, only those who are intelligent, those who are inclined to study and discuss and learn and debate and contemplate and try to understand philosophy, only they are eligible for Jnana Kanda or Jnana Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga, only those who can do severe austerities, only they can practice Ashtanga Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, anybody can do. Who cannot chant Hare Krishna? Even animals also, we think they don't want to speak. They can also speak. They have got their language. Krishna in Vrindavan, he speaks the language of the humans, of course. We know that. He speaks the language of the birds. He speaks the language of the monkeys. He speaks the language of all the animals. He speaks all the languages of all the creatures. Okay? So they also speak. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made them also chant Hare Krishna when he was passing through Jharikanda. He made them also chant Hare Krishna. Okay? So they also can become devotees simply by chanting Hare Krishna. And even if some creatures cannot chant or do not chant, not cannot chant, they do not chant. When they hear Hare Krishna, they become devotees. But that chanting has to be by a pure devotee. So if we are chanting, our chanting will be effective to take us to the spiritual world when we chant purely. Before that, when we are chanting, is there any use of chanting? Yes. We are not chanting purely, but as we chant, chanting becomes more pure, more pure, more pure. Every time you chant, it becomes automatically more pure. So you practice chanting, and then to make the purification fast, you also do other activities of bhakti. You take prasadam, you worship Krishna, you associate with devotees, you hear Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, you sing bhajans, you visit holy places, you go to temple, you participate in festivals. All this will give an acceleration to your purification. That is bhakti. But bhakti can be practiced by anybody. Therefore, Krishna has devotees like birds, Garuda, like monkey, Hanuman. He has devotees in every species. So he himself comes as a fisher. Why? To deliver the fishes. To deliver the fishes. See, fishes in the ocean, okay? So many fishes are there, so many varieties of fishes are there. So they will have some relationship, some interaction between fishes alive with fishes, no? Correct? So when Lord appears as fish, the other fishes will think, oh, very attractive fish, very nice fish. So they'll associate with him. Simply by associating with him, they all get delivered. They don't know he's God. They know we are entangled in the material world. They don't know anything. But simply by associating with Supreme Lord, they get delivered. So same way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Krishna has appeared as a Hare Krishna mantra, but anybody who chants directly associates with Krishna. They may not know it is Krishna in the form Hare Krishna mantra, but they chant, they are associated with Krishna. And associating Krishna, then you go back to Godhead. That's all. You don't have to understand Hare Krishna mantra is another form of Krishna. Krishna is present on my tongue in the form of some. No need to understand anything. In the sixth canto, it is nicely explained. Bhagavatam nicely explains all this. Just like somebody takes a medicine given by a proper doctor who's properly diagnosed what the sickness is, and take this medicine, you get cured. Now, if they take the medicine, whether they understand how this medicine is going to work, what is my disease, what does the medicine contain? Another doctor or another medical student can understand what this medicine is, what the disease is, how this medicine will work. Another doctor can understand. So whether a doctor with understanding takes a medicine or we as common people, we take the medicine, Medicine will work regardless of whether you understand, don't understand. You have to take the medicine. You have to take the medicine. It will work. Correct? Similarly, whether you understand this Hare Krishna mantra, how it works, what is that Hare Krishna mantra, or you don't understand, but you chant. Vibrate your tongue and say Hare Krishna. Good. Exactly like the medicine. That's what in the sixth canto is explained. It's explained in the sixth canto. All this is explained in the Bhagavatam. You see? Bhagavatam contains so many more details which are not there in the Bhagavad Gita. Like yesterday, you were asking the question, where in the Bhagavad Gita it said these four regulative principles are the most default because they're the most sinful activities, specifically these four, and they are very dangerous in Kali Yuga. It's there in the Bhagavad. So all the details which you want actually are there in the Bhagavad. It's there in the Bhagavad Gita in a code form. Somewhere I can say some verses, but it's like indirectly I have to explain. Okay, directly if you want, everything is there. Directly you want to understand how a hunter became a devotee. A hunter is no culture, he has no good habits, he lives in the jungle, his association is all wild animals and other such hunters. He has no good association, he has no temple, no saintly persons, nothing. Narada Muni went and delivered one hunter just because he agreed to chant Hare Krishna. That's all, God's name. That's all. So this is explained in the Bhagavad. So people sometimes they can't understand how simply chanting Hare Krishna it works. So they'll not chant. So for them we'll say, read Bhagavatam, understand how Hare Krishna works. That's a proper splitting Bhagavatam also. Some people, unless they understand, they will not take up the practice. Because they read Bhagavatam, understand, then you chant. Because you chant with understanding, it's going to work. But some people say, I'll not chant. No, I don't want to blindly follow. I'm an Italian person. I don't blindly follow. Okay, fine. You want to understand and then do it? That's Bhagavatam is there. But somebody cannot understand. I can't understand. I can't read Bhagavatam. Okay, just chant Hare Krishna. It'll work. So this is the first verse. So most importantly, Krishna or Vishnu as his original form, spiritual form, always exists in his spiritual form, unchanging, with all his powers. With all that spiritual world remains as it. That's explained in the next verse. Okay, any questions before I proceed? So, give the mic. Others can hear the question also.
Maharaj, with respect to what you explained about Paramatma causing the activities in the lungs and this and that, so how do we reconcile that in chapter 5 Bhagavad Gita? It says like divine consciousness, a person with that sees that everything is a activity of the three material modes, sleeping, hearing, all that. So that is part one of the question. Second is,
okay, let me answer this question. Then you talk. So her question is that in the Bhagavad Gita it's explained, a person in divine consciousness is able to see the gunas are acting, all material activities because of gunas. And I am just an observer. I, a spirit soul, I am just an observer. Gunas are acting and bring out all the changes. That's a fact. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti. I think I'm lifting my hand. But actually, my lifting the hand is explained in Bhagavad Gita as due to the gunas acting, material nature working on a material nature. How do I know it is a material nature working and not I am lifting the hand? Because when I get paralytic stroke, I can't lift the hand. In my dream, I try to lift the hand, I can't lift my hand. Correct? Something else is the cause. I may be a cause, but I'm not the only cause. So, in the fifth chapter, third chapter, Krishna says, all material activities are due to the interactions of the three gunas. Okay. Fifth chapter explains further detail. There are three doers of every material activity. Three doers. First doer is the living entity, I, in this body. When I want to lift my hand, or I want to lift this, or I want to do something, I am the first doer. And the first doer is the desirer to do something. The first doer as desirer. If I desire to do something, always our activity doing starts with the desire. Like I don't want to lift my hand, I'll not lift my hand without wanting to lift it. Correct? Correct? Huh? Without my wanting to read, I will not simply start reading. No, I want to read, then only I will read. Eyes will be used for reading, correct? But still, how is it that uh, I'm not reading? I'm not reading using my eyes. Something else is happening in reading. That is explained by Krishna in fifth chapter as the second doer is Paramatma, who's seated in my heart. What is Paramatma's role? He sanctions the desire or does not sanction the desire. He's a sanctioner. That is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Upadrishta Anumanta. Paramatma is the witness to every activity. He is the sanctioner of every action. So he sanctions, activity will take place. He does not sanction, activity will not happen. So the second doer. Third doer is material nature, consists of the three gunas. So Paramatma gives sanction. Durga Devi is his maid servant. She will carry out the activity through the three gunas. She will carry out the activity. So, first doer is the living entity who thinks he is the doer. He's a doer in the sense desirer. Second doer is Paramatma, who is the sanctioner. Third doer is the executor. Desirer, sanctioner, executor. Executor is Gadevi through the three gunas. So, this is the detailed explanation of that third chapter verse. Prakriti Kriyamaya. So, if every material activity is happening through these three kinds of doers, okay, therefore it is said that the material nature is a doer. And when I become enlightened, I'm able to see this. I can see Paramatma is seated in my heart as a sanctioner. I know I'm not this body, I'm just the spirit. So I'm the desirer. I keep on desiring. And actually, everything is happening by the actions and interacting with three gunas. I see the three gunas working. That is the enlightened state of a devotee. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhu, and I think you answered the second part, but I'll ask just to confirm. So, just like you explained that Mahavishnu glances over material nature to activate. So, my question would have been like, does the Paramatma in the body glance at the material modes inside the body to activate like the execution, or just the sanction?
He doesn't have to do, merely he is sanctioning, because Durga Devi is just his agent for simply doing whatever he wants her to do. That's all. Finished.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Actually, a small follow-up to that question. You said Paramatma is a sanctioner or doesn't sanction. So if Paramatma is the one that's controlling that, Maharaj, where does free will come? Where do we
Desiring. Ah. Why we had responsibility? We are not the doer. It is just like telling knife is cutting the vegetable. Actual cutting is happening with a knife, the sharp edge of the knife. But can we say your, let's say your service is vegetable cutting? You are not cutting the vegetable, your knife is cutting. तुम आएगा नहीं आएगा मेरे पास knife है ना बस खत्म. Does it make sense? Yes, knife is an instrument to be worked upon by a person. And somebody will say, machine हो सकता है ना? Machine में knife fit कर देगा. Vegetable cutting machine. We don't require a person who can cut with a knife. Machine में डाल देंगे. But machine has to be operated by a person. It is operated by a person. Okay? And somebody will say, artificial intelligence आ गया ना अभी. So I will just tell, cut the vegetable. It will cut the vegetable. I don't require an operator also. But that's also an arrangement made by a person, that the mere order will cut the vegetable. So the elaborate arrangement is required. So then cutting the vegetable doesn't mean simply a vegetable get cut. Where is the vegetable kept? It has to fed into that cutting machine. So now they are building a robot which will act like a human being. Say, get me an apple. I heard from the devotee who's working on this project, Microsoft. So they built a robot. It's almost come to this final stage because getting labor is a big headache in America and very expensive, and you don't get good labor. So robot will do everything. So you address the robot as a person, okay? Mr. Robot, or whatever the name you want to call. Get me an apple from the refrigerator. This simple thing. They have to program some million operations. They're doing that. Still, they're doing it. Like donkeys, they're working. I should say they're donkeys. They're intelligent people. They have to work so hard to make it bring an apple from the refrigerator. And it should be like, you keep an apple in the place in which it's supposed to be kept. Supposing it is not kept in the place, it has to tell back, there's no apple in the apple, what is that, apple car, apple box. There's no apple. Just come back and tell you. Then it has to tell, you have to program it. Can you order apples from Amazon? And nowadays in India, we have here also, you have a big basket, something. You order that, then they will deliver in 5 minutes, no? Right? So order from big basket, 1 pound apples. Okay, I'll order. See, ultimately, person is required. No? Who is behind all this robot design and it takes commands? Who is behind this? A person. And if the robot doesn't work, whom will you call? Another robot? Or you call a person? You will call a person who designed the robot. Only he can repair. Nobody else can repair. No other machine can repair. Correct? So ultimately, it's a person. That's what Prabhupada is trying to point out. Even if they say there's an automatic machine, there's a person who's behind the machine. Similarly, everything seems to be working automatically in nature, but behind nature is God, a person, the person, not a person, the person, the only person. Okay, so now we'll just proceed. Another half an hour, I'll complete the second verse. So I am just briefly mentioning the verses. I don't have time to. Lot is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and lot more is explained in the Bhagavatam itself. You can read that. But I'll just mention the second verse. Tomorrow, 2 more verses. Second verse is, I'll read directly the translation. What appears to be truth without me is certainly my illusory energy, for nothing can exist without me. Nothing can exist without me. Very nice example Krishna is giving, Lord Vishnu is giving. It is like a reflection of a real light in the shadows. For in the light, there are neither shadows nor reflections. It's a beautiful example. I'll just explain the example, we close. Now, let's not go details of truth without me, illusory energy, all that. Let's understand the example of reflection of a light in the shadows. Let's understand this. Prabhupada explained that very beautifully. Prabhupada says that the example of the sun he gives, the absolute truth, that is Krishna or Vishnu, can be compared to the sun. We have experience of sun, okay? Sun is appreciated in terms of two relative truths. Sun is like the absolute truth. Absolute truth has got relative truths. Relative truth is truth which is dependent on the absolute truth. Okay. Now, there is sun. Sun has naturally got sunshine. Naturally, sun has got sunshine. But sun also has got two other aspects called reflection and darkness. Sun has got two other aspects apart from sunshine. Which are the two aspects of sun? Reflection and darkness. Now, what is darkness? Absence of sunshine is called darkness. Because sun is all light. So if when the sun is in the sky, there is darkness in some place, what is the darkness? Absence of sunshine. Okay. And what is reflection when there is sun in the sky? Okay. Reflection is a projection of sunlight into darkness. Reflection is a projection of sunshine into darkness. Just like, let's say there is a window here, okay? And there's a window there, this is the room. And in the corner, there's a dark corner there. Okay? The sun is shining in the sky in this direction. The sun has just risen. Let's say this is the east, risen in the morning. Sun is shining. So sunshine is entering your room through the window. So sunshine illuminates the whole room. That's easily understood. But that dark corner is not directly facing the sun. Let's say there's a mirror there. Okay? Now the mirror will appear to be a sun in the mirror. Right? Sun in the mirror. So the reflection is also illuminating the dark place. The reflected sun, another sun, is illuminating the dark place. But is that the real sun? Is it another sun? No, it is not. So therefore, it is said here that neither darkness nor reflection has an independent existence, independent of the sun. Independent of the sun, there cannot be darkness or reflection. Okay? So, reflection is a projection of sunlight into darkness. So, it is original sun is illuminating, or sometimes a reflected sun can also illuminate. But the reflected sun illuminating is not independent of the sun. Only there is sun, and that sun is reflected in a mirror, then only the reflected sun is present and it can illuminate a dark place. If there is no sun, where is question of reflection? Then where is question of reflection illuminating a dark place? Not possible at all. Understood? Similarly, darkness is only absence of sunshine. Sunshine, whether it is directly coming or it is reflected sunlight, either case, sunshine is there, darkness will not be there. But if sunshine is not there, is there any meaning to darkness without sunshine? Can there be darkness independent of sunshine? Existing or not existing? No, there's no such thing. Sun means sunshine. Sunshine means light. There's no two aspects of the sunshine. Some sunshine illuminates, some sunshine does not illuminate. There's no such thing. So, Prabhupada explains, neither darkness nor reflection has independent existence. So, the spiritual world is compared to sunshine. Material world is compared to the dark regions where the sun is not visible. Just like in India, it happens. Some, like winter, here also it happens, I guess. Winter, some places will be very cloudy, practically no sunshine at all, even if it is daytime. You can barely make out it in the daytime. There's some difference in the sky. Little illumination is there, so it's daytime, and no illumination at all, it is night. Okay. So, but there are places sun will be shining. The same sun will be shining in Florida, for example, California. There's no, it's not so cloudy. It's not cloudy. Sun shining. Okay. So now there are places where there is darkness, where the sun is not visible. Sun is there in the sky. And sun is of the nature of illuminating. But then why sun is there in the sky? It's not illuminating the place because of the cloud. The cloud which is covering the sun. But cloud cannot cover the sun in such a way that the sun becomes covered. What does the cloud do? Cover our vision of the sun. Prabhupada gives an example. Let's say there's a cloud in the sky because of which our area there is no sunshine. Now, how big can the cloud be? Few hundred meters or few kilometers or few miles, whatever, that's all. Sun is billions of miles in diameter. Can a cloud cover the sun? But cloud can cover our vision of the sun. We are very tiny beings compared to the sun. So some corner of the whole universe, we are there. And just one cloud which is compared to our eye, which is so small, one cloud which is hundreds or thousands of times bigger than our eye, it is covering our eyes, we can't see the sun. Simple to understand, no? So like that, spiritual world is real big. And that effulgence of Krishna in the spiritual world is always there. But that effulgence is covered in the material world. Therefore, material world is a place which is full of darkness. Okay. Now, this darkness is not because of the inability of the Krishna's effulgence to illuminate this world. It is because our vision of this spiritual world is covered by Maya. The darkness is due to Maya covering our vision, not because of the inability of Krishna to Krishna's effulgence to illuminate this place. So, Prabhupada says, when the material manifestation appears very wonderful, This is due to the reflection of the supreme sunshine, the absolute truth, as confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra. So in the material world, so many things appear to be real, but they're not real. Why is this? Because this, what appears to be real is actually a reflection. Just like in the mirror, you see a sun, but because of the reflection, it is not the real sun. It appears like a sun, but it's not the real sun. The real sun is somewhere else, of which this is a reflection. So material world, everything appears to be real, but it's actually a reflection of what is in the spiritual world, which is real. So, therefore, this world is called as Maya. Maya means illusion or reflection, reflected. So, Vedic literatures direct us, don't be captivated by the dark regions, which is covered by the cloud of Maya, that is the material world. But try to reach the shining regions of the absolute. Tamasoma Jyotirgama. This is the Vedic statement. In the Upanishad, it is said, Tamasoma Jyotirgama. Don't remain in darkness, but go to light. This darkness and light refers to material world and spiritual world. Don't remain in darkness, don't remain in material world, go to spiritual world, which is all light. So this much is enough for today. Tomorrow we'll discuss the other two verses and briefly I'll explain what more Krishna tells about himself. The other two verses. Okay. Some more questions I can take now? Yes.
No, so we had a question online earlier also.
Okay, online. Let us take the question and then answer the question.
Someone has asked, how is Shiva created like Brahma?
Okay. Shiva is not a jiva. This we have to understand. Brahma is a jiva, but Shiva is not a jiva. Durga is not a jiva. Shiva and Durga have a special position. Shiva is in the category of an incarnation of Krishna, a special type of incarnation of Krishna, who's not exactly the personality of Krishna himself. All other incarnations of Krishna are Krishna himself. Narasimha, Vamana, Varaha, Vishnu, Narayana, all are incarnations of Krishna, who is Krishna himself, in a different form, in a different mode, whatever. But Shiva is not another incarnation of Krishna himself. It's a special type of incarnation who's got some characteristics of Vishnu or Krishna, some characteristics of a jiva. So it's very confusing when Shiva performs an activity. Sometimes he acts like a jiva, sometimes he acts like Vishnu. So always, perpetually, those who don't know the truth of Shiva, they'll be perplexed. Devotees of Shiva will say he is God. So they're observing his characteristics as like Vishnu. And the other non-devotees of Shiva, they'll say, hey, Shiva is not God. Because he behaves like a human being sometimes. So they'll say, look at this Shiva. What is he doing? Certain actions of Shiva are like that. Just like one pastime of Shiva, Shiva participates in Krishna's pastimes when the Bhagavatam is given. One Vrukasura, one demon was there. He performed severe austerities. He was a devotee of Shiva. The demons are devotees of demigods only. They can never be devotees of Vishnu. Why? Because demigods know they have some power to give benediction, but they become obliged to give these demons unreasonable benedictions. So this fellow, he performed severe austerities to please Lord Shiva, and then Shiva could understand. Shiva is a very powerful. Among demigods, he is the topmost, in greater than Brahma also. So he could understand why this demon is doing this tapasya. He wants a benediction. What benediction he wants? Whosoever head I touch, that person's head should completely get cut off and he should instantly die. What kind of benediction is this fellow asking? So Shiva knew this fellow is a nuisance, nonsense. So he didn't want to give him that benediction. So he did not appear in front of him at all. He's petitioning Shiva, trying to please him, do all kinds of austerities. Shiva is not appearing. Shiva is not answering his prayers. So he became desperate. He started cutting off his hands, his limbs, and offering that as sacrifice to Shiva. Shiva saw this person. God, what is he doing? I have to stop him. See, after all, Shiva is a Vaishnava. So he is paradukhe dukhi. He can't tolerate to see the sufferings of anybody. So he's so compassionate. Vaishnava is very, very compassionate, like Krishna. So he is also Vaishnava. So he's as compassionate as Krishna. So he can't tolerate to see this foolish fellow destroying his body and destroying himself. So he immediately appeared. Stop. Why are you doing this? Then he said, he was very pleased. Shiva finally appeared. And he said, yes, what is it you want? Why are you doing all this? What do you want? So he said, I want a benediction. You promised me you will give it, then only I'll tell you what benediction. Yes, tell me what benediction. Whosoever head I touch, that person should immediately, his head should get cut off and he should die. So why do you want this benediction? Horrible benediction. No good, not anybody. Why do you want to do this? So that demon would not be convinced. So then Shiva had forced to give. So Shiva reluctantly, after trying to convince him, he could not convince him, gave that benediction. The rascal, you see how these demons are. He wants to touch Shiva's head, but his head will be cut off. Why? He wants to enjoy Parvati. This was his intention. Shiva knew this. But this demon is adamant. So he gave the benediction, he's trying to touch Shiva's head. Shiva is trying to run away from this demon. The demon is chasing Shiva. So finally, wherever the demon, because this demon had got powers, mystic powers. Anywhere in the universe he goes, he can't escape. His fellow has got the power to go anywhere in the universe with his mystic power. So he's chasing. Finally, Shiva went to Vishnu's abode, Shvetadvipa. Then, as soon as Shiva entered, Vishnu understood some crazy things some demons somebody is doing. That's why Shiva has come here. But he'll not come like this running. So what happened? The demon is trying to chase me. I gave him a benediction. Now Vishnu understood everything. Don't worry. I'll handle it. Vishnu transformed himself into a small boy. Small boy. Very cute, attractive boy. So this demon is chasing and he's tired. But still somehow he's, wait, where are you going? Take rest. Take some rest. What do you want? Why are you running? Oh, I'm trying to catch hold of Shiva. Why? Because, see, Vishnu has got two kinds of Maya. Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. Shiva is the master of Mahamaya. But Krishna is the master not only of Mahamaya, is also the master of Yoga Maya. So Shiva using his Maya, he could not bewilder the demon. He could not cover the demon's intelligence or knowledge or power. But Krishna can use Yoga Maya to bewilder even the most powerful mystic. Using his Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya is supreme. And only Krishna can utilize Yoga Maya for his any purpose. He is infallible Lord. So using Yoga Maya, he covered his intelligence and stopped him. And then he began to have a conversation. And then he said, Shiva, he's giving me a boon. I want to try on him. Then this boy started laughing. Shiva, boon. He's in sound mind. Recently, he lost his wife. His wife committed suicide. He's not in sound condition of mind. Won't believe him. I cannot believe him. So what he has given is not really going to work. Yeah, that will not work. What is the benediction he gave? Whoso read that, it will come. That Shiva, he's a big liar. Big liar. And he's not in sound mind, Don't believe him. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, you can just check. You keep your hand on your head, nothing will happen to you. Just keep your hand in your head, nothing will happen to you. They're like, I keep my hand on my head. Nothing will happen to me. No. Like nothing will happen to you. Shiva's benediction are all bogus, meaningless. Simply in some moment of madness, he has told, yeah, take this benediction. No value for his benediction. The demon thought, oh, really, there's no value. Let me check. He kept it. Shiva's benediction is not false. He's not mad. He's in sound condition of mind. Immediately they hit the demon. Fell. So when we hear this, where is Shiva's power as Vishnu? He doesn't have the powers of Vishnu. He's got some powers of Vishnu, but only limited powers, specific powers for his functions as Shiva. Every demigod is empowered by the Lord. Shiva is also empowered. But Shiva is not a Jiva. He is not subject to illusion. He is not subject to birth and death. He doesn't need to get liberation. But Brahma onwards, everybody, they are bound up with the material world. They got a material body and they have to practice spiritual life and become liberated. Durga, she is the external energy of the Lord. She is a Vaishnavi. Originally, she is a Vaishnavi. But in the material world, she functions as a demigoddess. In progress. She is the controller of the prison. She is the prison superintendent, the material world. Jail superintendent. Yes. So she controls all the living entities through the three gunas. The three gunas, she controls all the living entities, completely under her control. Whoever may think I am great, I am this, whatever mystic powers they have, all within the three gunas. Mystic powers don't work in the spiritual platform. The spiritual world, no mystic powers work. But doesn't mean in the spiritual world there are no mystic powers. Devotees are mystic powers. But those are spiritual powers. Spiritual powers. So you understand, Shiva has got powers, but they are specifically meant for specific purposes. He is not Vishnu. He doesn't control Yoga Maya. Okay? Whereas Vishnu, Krishna, Narayana, all of them have the same person, Krishna only. Yoga Maya is there. Mahamaya is there. They can employ any energy for any purpose of their own. So, Shiva is not the Supreme Lord. So, his created beings, he comes into the material world. Either he's born as son of Brahma, or sometimes he appears from Vishnu. Different times he appears differently. Okay? But he's always existing in his abode, Mahesh Dhama. He's got his personal abode in the spiritual world, Mahesh Dhama. Okay? So he's there, he's a Vaishnav. The Vaishnav. And Durga Devi is eternal abode, he is Vaishnavi. That's why Vaishnav Devi they say, na? Is Vaishnavi Devi. Shortened into Vaishno Devi in Jammu, Katra. There's one temple, Vaishno Devi. Durga Devi only. She is originally Vaishnavi. But in the material world, she functions in so many different capacities as Durga, Kali, and Chandi. Many different forms are there, so ferocious. Some are very dangerous, some are not so dangerous. All kinds of forms. She's got so many functions. She's a perfect maidservant of Krishna. Exactly as Krishna wills, she conducts this material world. But Krishna directs her through the three directors of the gunas. Material world is being conducted by these three gunas. The three directors, Sattva director is Vishnu, Rajoguna director is Brahma, Tamoguna director is Shiva. So those three are directors. It's like a owner of a company and directors of a company. Owner is the owner. Directors are not owners, but they are directors doing the work of directing different departments or different aspects of the business according to the will of the owner. Similarly, from the will of Krishna, the three directors are directing the three gunas. So Durga Devi is the one actually executing that direction. She executes the direction. Okay, your question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So I just have one question. We say right, the Paramatma is one of the doer, and he sanctions like a Upadrushta and Anuvanta. So why he sanctions
Bad things.
sad wills, right? Means
Yeah,
if
yeah.
there is a sanctioner,
question.
then he should unsanction also, right?
He need not sanction. I have a desire to kill somebody. He should not sanction that. Why does he sanction? So his sanctioning is not exactly personal for non-devotees. Non-devotees, his sanction is not personal. It is according to the laws. Just like a owner of a factory. All the decisions at the lower levels are taken by his subordinates. He personally not involved in every decision making. But they are always conducting according to the rules, the regulations, the policies. They have no freedom to simply say yes or no. But he has got absolute freedom to say yes or no for anything. And certain specific decisions only he can take, nobody else can take. Like that, Krishna's position as Paramatma is only for his devotees. He personally is involved in sanctioning. He controls the devotees. He directs the senses of the devotees. But others exactly come with their karma. If their karma permits, sanctioned. Karma does not permit, not sanctioned. Sometimes it happens in government, no. You go with some request, the officer will say, it's not within my powers to sanction this. Okay? Within the powers, I sanction. If I am not got powers, sorry, you have to go to my higher. I cannot sanction this. I have no powers to sanction this. Like that. So the demigods are the sanctioners on behalf of Vishnu. So they will carry out exactly according to karma. So karma permits, I can do something. If karma does not permit, no, I cannot do. So normally karma works. Laws of karma work. Durga Devi exactly into laws of karma will keep doing things. But for devotees, Durga Devi is looking at Krishna. For this devotee, what should I do? That's why there is a incident described in the Bhagavatam. 2 more minutes. I just exceed 2 minutes. Okay. That there was one devotee, pure devotee of Krishna, Jadabharata. Somehow he could not perfect his spiritual life in the particular lifetime in which he practiced Krishna consciousness very seriously. and he had to take birth as a deer. Next life. He got attached somehow towards the end to a deer and he took birth as a deer. But because he had practiced spiritual life so much, almost reaching perfection, Krishna gave him remembrance in the body of a deer of all the mistakes he had done, the mistake he had done, getting attached to a deer, and his memory was kept intact. So in the deer body, he was not acting like a deer. He would just eat minimum grass, whatever leaves, dry leaves, always be with the saintly persons hearing what they're discussing about Krishna consciousness, the sages. One deer is simply standing there. They may not even know this deer is actually a great devotee in the body of a deer. Just standing and hearing. Because his consciousness is that of the advanced devotee, body of a deer. So then he was waiting to quit that body. So he quit that body, immediately he was given human form of body. He was born as son of a Brahman. In the son of a Brahman also, he was from childhood itself, he is aware. I should be very careful not get entangled in material activity. So when he was growing up, he feigned as if he's dumb, dull, deaf, not mentally developed, like a dumb and deaf and dull fellow he was behaving. Internally, he was constantly meditating on Krishna. He was always constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness internally. Externally, simply something. He will do something he may not do, he'll simply be sitting. So father was very concerned. What happened to this boy? What has happened? So anyway, there's a big description in the Bhagavatam, details are there. So he was taken by some dacoit gang to offer as a Narabali to Kali. The dacoit leader, he didn't have a son. So desiring to have a son, he was worshipping Kali, the devotee of Kali. The dacoits can only be devotees of Kali or Shiva like that. They can't be devotees of Vishnu, as I told you. So he was worshipping Kali, a deity of Kali in a temple, and he wanted to offer Narabali. So Narabali means they have to search for a dull-headed fellow who's almost like an animal. Okay. So they're searching. Finally, they came across Jadabharata, simply sitting like a dullard. Let's try this guy. See who is he. So they went and tried to catch him. He simply, they caught him. He just didn't protest. They took him, they bound him and took him, simply followed them. They brought him to the dacoit leaders. We found a nice bali, Pashu bali, like a man-like animal. We found animal-like man and whatever. So the dacoit leaders, be happy. Okay, now bathe him nicely and put some tilak, feed him nicely. Bathe him, he's getting paid. Everything he is simply inside he is active. Externally, whatever is happening, he's not bothered. So they are about to cut his head and offer that flesh to Kali. Kali is simply not deity. Deity means not simply some statue, lifeless statue. Kali is there. She's watching. Oh, a great devotee, this nonsense fellow is going to kill. I must stop this. So when it's about to cut the head, Kali sprang out of that deity form and immediately took that sword and cut out that fellow's head. And then he had so many dacoit associates, no nonsense guys. Then her witch associates cut off the head of all the others. And then Jadabharat is just standing there. He's just standing there. He's watching. Then she was so angry. Of course, it's not that she cut off his head. First, her witch associates cut off the heads of all the other dacoits. And then she was just, you rascal. You want to kill this devotee of the Lord? I'll teach you a lesson. He was terrified. And then she showed what is a real form. The, the, the witches' associates, they began to play with the heads which had dropped like ball. They're all laughing and they're drinking the blood and throwing the heads like a ball and they're catching and dancing. This dacoit leader is completely terrified. He doesn't know what's happening. What happened? Then, after some time, cut off his head. And she just disappeared. All the witches will disappear. They're not going to just walk away. So my point is, Durga is not a jiva. She is the maid servant of Krishna. She is a Vaishnavi. But she is empowered for certain purposes. Those powers she exercises and does this service to Krishna. That's all. So sometimes it appears like Durga is not able to kill some demon. That's the Lord's Leela. That's the Lord's Leela. Otherwise, Durga is never having less power or unable to kill somebody or control somebody or subdue somebody. It's not. Shiva also. He has the power to subdue anybody. But sometimes it appears for the Lord's Leela like Shiva is incapable. But actually they are not Jiva. Shiva and Durga. Vishnu is not a Jiva. Vishnu is the Supreme Lord himself. So these three, Vishnu, Durga and Shiva are not Jiva. Brahma is a Jiva. But Brahma is a specially empowered Jiva. He's not like other demigods who are empowered. His position is a permanent position as long as the universe is there. Other demigods' position is changeable. Brahma's position is not changeable position. Nobody can occupy Brahma's position once Brahma is born from Vishnu and then he occupies the post of Brahma, the secondary creator. Nobody else can take his post. But Shiva's post nobody can take. Shiva only takes. And Durga Devi's post, only Durga Devi can. Nobody else can. But all the other demigods, their position is changeable. They can maximum hold the post for one Manvantara, the topmost demigods. Varuna, Vayu, Indra. That's explained in the 8th canto of the Bhagavatam. See, these details are there in the Bhagavatam. It's not there in the Bhagavad Gita. So read the Bhagavatam, study the Bhagavatam. Okay, we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.